In this video, you're going to be finding out how much I make as a tech consultant and how I spend that money. I never really mentioned this before, but I'm a first-generation college student. What that means, based on this article right here, is the term first generation implies the possibility that a student may lack the critical cultural capital necessary for college success because their parents did not attend college. Essentially, this means that I never got much guidance from my parents for college nor post-college and pretty much figuring things out on my own. This meant that I didn't have any knowledge on what's a good starting salary for tech careers, nor did I know how to spend money in order to be financially stable and independent. But luckily, we live in an era of digital information. I watch a lot of YouTube videos like Graham Stephan and The Tech Lead, as well as read a lot of personal finance articles. And also talk to a lot of people in the consulting and tech industry to gather tips and advice. By doing all of this, it allowed me to understand how to spend my money wisely. All right, Paul, let's get to the point. When I first started my tech consulting career as an entry-level consultant, I was offered a salary of $79,500 for living and working in LA. I thought this was absolutely amazing. This was a lot of money to me, especially, coming back to my first generation background. But after talking to a couple of my friends who graduated from the same computer science class as me, they were talking to me about how they were making over $100,000 a year. And that doesn't include stock benefits, just their base salary. During that time, I really wanted to make as much as they were making. But this was before I learned about the quote, comparison is the thief of joy. So I figured out that I can work overtime at my firm. I ended up working between 50 to 60-hour work weeks, which included client work as well as studying for my AWS certifications. At the cost of my burnout, I ended up making around $104,000 in my first year as a tech consultant. Now that you know my first year salary, how did I end up spending all of that $104,000? I've broken down my expenses into this schematic chart, and I'll be talking about the different expenses categories that I spent my money on. So as you can see here on the left-hand side of the picture, you can see my wages, which ended up around $104,000, but to be more accurate, $104,336. And I split this up into a couple categories: tax and benefits, personal finance, necessities, personal health, entertainment, and investment and savings. So let's talk about the first category, which takes up the most amount of expenses, which is taxes and benefits. And when I say benefits, I'm talking about pre-tax benefits that my company offers and that I get to participate in by putting in pre-tax dollars into them. So as you can see here, the first category is $42,146, and out of that $42,000, $35,000 roughly goes into taxes. So I don't ever see that $35,000 ever. And so that takes a huge chunk of my income. Later on, you can see here, I also participate in my 401k, $4,420. And during this time, I only matched up to what my company was offering, which was 3%. And I didn't put anything extra because I didn't realize how important 401k was during that time. And then as mentioned before, I put $2,683 into the benefits. Moving on to the next category, I reserved $16,000 for personal finance stuff. And that's split up into two subcategories: student loans and my Roth IRA. Paid off my student loans of $10,785 because I didn't want to spend 4% interest rates paying that off every single month. So I wanted to do a lump sum and pay it off right away. If you didn't know, Roth IRA, you can contribute up to $5,500 during this year. And that's what I did, and then started investing through my Roth so that when I do retire, I can withdraw whatever investments I made without having a tax penalty. Cool, going to the next category is necessities. This includes, housing, clothes, subscriptions, things like that. And I spent $23,369 in this category alone. And you can see here my housing, relatively low because I was living with a couple roommates. And so it's only spent $10,200 in that area. Grocery and dining out, I didn't dine out too often, but when I did, I still kept my, personal finance mentality in mind, so I didn't spend too much. And for groceries, it's, I would say around $100 to $150 a month. I can eat the same meal every day, so I ate like brown turkey, pasta, spinach, and then, fruits and stuff. And this was before inflation, so food prices were not too high. And then I also had car payments. I just bought a car the previous month when I first started tracking all this stuff. And so I started paying that off on a monthly basis. And during this time, gas was $1,800. I was commuting about an hour each way to work. And luckily my car during that time was fuel efficient. And so that allowed me to be able to save some money that way. And utilities and phone include like, electricity, gas, water, and then my phone bills. And as for subscriptions, $284 there for like Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime. All right, moving on to the next one, personal health. I spent $1,818 in this category, split up between medical and gym. Medical stuff, like getting checkups and all that stuff. And then the other $348 was for gym membership. Moving on to the entertainment category, I spent $10,395 here. And that's split up between travel, friends and family, dating, and fun. Fun is like any extracurricular that doesn't fall into one of these subcategories. So I spent $5,986 traveling to different places. I also spent $2,117 for friends and family. When I, take my family out to eat, I like to pay for them, similar to hanging out with my friends, whether that's birthdays or special occasions like Christmas. And then dating, paying for my significant other when we go out to eat, movies, things like that. And fun is just like, sometimes I want to buy a video game, and that's considered fun. Moving on to the last category, investing and savings. I spent $10,323 here. And that's split up into two subcategories, savings and investments. For the savings subcategory, I got to save $6,600 in a whole entire year. As for the investments, I was able to put $3,723 into the stock markets, buying various index funds or even stocks that I deem worthy to invest in. As you can see here, based on the chart that I just showed you, my take-home pay isn't six figures. When people talk about making $100,000 in a year, they're not actually taking home and getting $100,000 a year. They're actually getting less than that due to taxes and other benefits that they're participating in with their company. Obviously, I would have more take-home pay if I didn't participate in my 401k as well as other tax benefit vehicles. But during this time, I wanted to invest in my future and utilize the power of compound interest. Overall, you get to see a glimpse of what working 50 to 60 hours as a consultant gets you and how that money gets spent. I highly don't recommend working these many hours. This will lead to burnout and will really take a toll on you. That's not worth it for your physical and mental health. And with that said, I hope you liked the video. And as always, please like and subscribe below, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.